Здорово, народ, с вами Рома PacMan, вы на канале Boomerang Games, мы продолжаем проходить с вами игрушку The Chicken Police, друзья. Так, мы добрались до небольшого расследования, и нам нужно в этом разобраться, так что, ребята, все обязательно надевайте наушники, всем приятного просмотра, давайте уже начнем. Так, расследовать, так, нам нужно что-то расследовать, но сейчас мы потихоньку разберемся, я думаю. Он, Ибн, да. Сразу понял, что он, кто же еще, блядь. Так, кто-то еще, да? Должен быть этот, нет? Это, блядь. Так, ладно. Уверен. Важно не сейчас. Почти, но не совсем то. Да ёбано, что там? Так, отлично, и... Ибо знал, что Наташа все время была тайным шпионом за вас. А хуй знает. Наташа был партизанский, Ибн хотел сохранить это в тайне. Наверное, нет? Хуй знает. Ладно, еще узнаем. А, ну вроде правильно, смотрите. Так, тут что-то... Так, номерок, да? Отлично, так и знал. Зип убил кого-то, чтобы сохранить это в тайне по приказу Ибна Уэслера. Браслет — это ключ и доказательство того, что Зип кого-то убил, чтобы скрыть секрет Наташи. Зип избавился от трупа и забрал браслет. Зип украл браслет у Ибна Уэслера. Наверное, нет? Нет. Сука, да что ж, ёб твою мать. Нет, показывает. Ну, блять, это просто факт. Я не знаю. Какое-то расследование, это разве нет? Вроде как нет. Так. Еще предмет какой-то. Подсказки. Отлично. Кто-то из королевской семьи, Ибн Уэслер, все это время был марионеткой Зайвас. Альберт Уэслер — пациент психиатрической лечебницы. Скорее всего, это, да? Ну, я так и думал, что же еще. Так, ладно, ну ладно, разберемся по ходу дела уже. Так, дело закрыто, отлично. Так, давайте с Марти еще поговорим.
Ibn's got his brother killed because he learned Natasha worked in a brothel.
Well, that could be the case, but I believe the roots go deeper than that.
Which we'd only learn if we talk to him. I mean, if the corpse isn't him, because then we'd need a medium.
Which would be exciting, but maybe it's enough if we ask the doctor.
Да, значит, нам определенно нужно попасть в психиатрическую лечебницу, в которой, собственно говоря, лечился брат Ибна Уэслера, Альберт. Марти говорит, это скучно. Да, есть такой вариант. Так, сейчас, пока не сюда, пока не сюда.
Oh, Sonny, it's good to be working with you again.
Yeah, I never thought I'd say this, but you're right. I never knew how much I missed it.
Ah, that feels good, Boss Bird.
Just don't get too excited.
Hey, when this is over, do you think we'll be on the front pages again?
Это та статейка, в которой они попали, собственно говоря, как пернатые копы.
Ah, hell yeah. I can already see the headline. Chicken police shot to death in an insane asylum.
Ooh, I love your optimism. Hey, when this is over, do you think we'll be on the front pages again?
Возможно.
Ah, hell yeah.
Даже скорее всего, мне кажется. Только интересно...
Ooh, I love your optimism.
Просто интересно, в какой до этой будет, в какой форме все представлено.
That they were the ones to set fire to the city before saving it?
Everyone heard that, Marty, but most likely it's sheep shit.
I don't know. Somehow it fits for me. First they burn down the city, then they save it with their influence and money.
Да, кстати, может такое быть. Мне кажется, по крайней мере. Не знаю, как на самом деле, но почему нет? Это же логично, спалить город, чтобы потом его спасти. Представь, как герои.
It must be horrible to live inside your head, Boss Bird. I don't see it that way. I don't believe everything's directed by cold, calculated logic.
Because it's not. But most conspiracy theories are just pure, made-up sheep shit. The real conspiracies never come to light.
Ah, so you do believe in them?
I believe in the possibility, and what I see with my own eyes.
You're an awfully worn piece of old furniture, pal. I hope you know that.
Нет, это просто он... Соня у нас парень старой закалки, он верит только фактам. Но он же детектив, да, в любом случае, поэтому, так сказать, он заложник своей профессии в чем-то.
You think of her differently now, because of what you've learned?
I don't really know. Our shared past didn't change. Our daughter, our experiences.
У него дочь есть. Я не знал даже.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Или, может, они говорили об этом, нет? Я, по крайней мере, не помню что-то.
But yeah, Marty, I think of her differently. I won't lie.
I'm sorry.
I know, Marty.
So, when and where was this?
Not long after I met Molly. She always loved to work with orphans. She simply liked to give.
Так, ясно.
I see. So what the cluck are you doing in the picture?
I helped around the orphanage for a while. As a volunteer.
So you were a kindergarten teacher?
No.
Relax, Sonny. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It makes me think of you from a new perspective.
Stop it right there, Marty, while you can.
Hey, if you like music so much, why don't you have a turntable, Sonny?
Maybe I love the silence even more.
The silence of Clawville. You mean the sirens, the gunshots, the crying, the screams, and the wailing?
Yeah, something like that, Marty.
Так, ну тут вроде все. Это печатная машинка, дикая природа, дверь в спальню, туда-сюда, город. Так, я думаю, ребята, знаете, что нам нужно сделать? А сделать нам нужно посмотреть номер на брошюрке, которую мы нашли в прошлой серии. И не нашли, вернее, нам дал ее наш товарищ Буба. И сейчас мы, я думаю, позвоним по этому номеру 555-966 и узнаем, не зря у нас тут телефон, верно ведь? Так, 5, 5, 5, 5, 9, 6, 6. Отлично. Ждем-с. Почему нет ответа? Я же правильно позвонил? Вроде правильно. 555-966. А хуй его знает. Так, может, совсем нужно позадействовать сначала, повзаимодействовать, а потом уже у нас что-то получится.
You're no fun, Sonny.
Well, you'll get old eventually too.
Never.
Так.
I'd still like to take a peek inside.
I wouldn't do that if I were you, Marty. I wouldn't do it if I were me either.
Ooh, it gets more and more enticing. I'd still like to take... Ooh,
Nautica.
You know, I thought about it multiple times that you might be Meredith H. Marble.
We've met her on a number of occasions, Marty. Remember? Her real name is Susie.
Maybe Susie's just an actress you hired.
You've read too much of that cheap garbage, Marty. There's no conspiracy theory. Susie's just a money-hungry little dame who made a fortune off of us. That's all.
Yeah, you're disappointing.
I know.
Что ж делать, что ж делать? Я думал, надо позвонить по номеру. Что-то он не хочет или что? Так, этот диалог у нас был в прошлой серии, если что. Так что, ребята... А, я понял, что надо сделать-то. Надо его с ним поговорить еще и поспрашивать, видимо. Вот в чем суть. Окей.
No, that could be the case, but I believe the roots go deeper than that.
Which we'd only learn if we talk to him. I mean, if the corpse isn't him, because then we'd need a medium.
Which would be exciting, but maybe it's enough if we ask the doctor who treated him.
That too, yeah. But where's the fun in that?
Так, вот.
So where exactly is this place?
A few hours drive from here, in the middle of nowhere. It's a creepy old mansion, of course.
You think it's a good idea to go there? What if it's a trap?
I told you, you can still go back.
Huh, wouldn't you love that? No such luck, boss. If I get killed or locked up forever in an insane asylum, that's gonna be on you.
Thanks, pal. I deserved that.
Так, Наташа Кошенко.
Still trust her?
Так что поговорим немного с Марти и поспрашиваем его мнение обо всем этом.
I never trusted
И
her
далее
money.
продолжим уже.
I mean, you believe her?
Нет, не думаю. Не думаю так. Я, по крайней мере, ей вообще прям не верю.
I'm sure she
Мне
was
кажется, она та
honestly
еще крыс.
afraid.
Хотя хуй
People
знает,
don't
может и
fake
нет.
it that easy. But I can understand why she didn't tell us about her former profession.
Or how she knows Molly.
Yeah, that too. And the death of Deborah complicated things even more.
Hey, Sonny, she didn't seduce you, right? I mean, Natasha.
Ah, don't be stupid, Monty. My old ticker hasn't been beating for a long time. Not that way, anyway.
Yeah, all right, boss.
Так, труп с
What do you
браслетом.
think happened to the corpse?
Probably been eaten. Horrible to think about, but even if half of what they say about the hive is true, starvation, riots, arson, predation.
You're telling me. Makes my feathers stand on end when I think about what goes on in there. And we pretend we don't know about it. As if Roachtown isn't even part of Clawville.
This won't end well. I'm afraid soon Clawville's gonna burn once again, and because of its own foolishness.
Well, that's if another meat war doesn't break out first. 'Cause then, the whole wilderness will burn.
Lovely prospects, eh?
Either way, it was a damn clever move for Wessler to hide the body in Roachtown.
It's the only place no one will ever find it.
Like the belly of a burning ship.
Oh, I think that was an intentional red herring.
Sounds about right.
Так, Зип
Who'd have
Ха
thought?
Мёрфи.
I believed that little rat. I thought he'd changed. Idiot.
There's a point when it's too late to change, Marty. His past caught up with him. Whatever he did since then doesn't matter.
Not much.
Exactly. And that's the case with us, too. That's why I won't back down. Even though a voice in my head is screaming right now, leave it all to hell and have another drink.
Maybe we should do that.
Maybe we should.
Так, ну тут вроде все поговорили.
The picture is that.
Вроде все поговорили. Теперь, мне кажется, можно позвонить. Так, давайте попытка номер 2. 5, 5, 5, 9, 6, 6. Так, звонок пошел, нет?
Hello,
Отлично.
Well, I'd like to inquire about a patient who I believe is being treated at your institution. His name is Albert Wessler.
I'm sorry, sir, but I can't give out that information if you don't have the password given to relatives. Do you have one?
Unfortunately, I don't have that. I'm not a relative. I'm calling from the Clawville Police Department.
Oh, I see. In that case, officer, I'd advise you to visit our institution personally.
Что-то подозрительно, как-то она вежлива слишком. Вам так не кажется? Мне кажется, она ждет там какая-то засада или какой-то пиздец явно. Ой, блять. Мне интересно, как тут будет выглядеть психиатрическая больница и кто будет доктором. Ладно, посмотрим. Надеюсь, что нет. Блять.
The thought gives me goosebumps.
Chicken bumps aren't good enough for you?
Ha ha ha.
Лично юморок попер, мне это нравится.
So, I get the couch?
It'd be better if I called Lewis. He'll open up a room for you to sleep in.
Whew, great idea.
Sorry for the mess, Marty. I rarely have visitors.
Don't worry about it, Sonny. I didn't expect anything else.
Это же мужская холостяцкая хата, разве нет? Поэтому все нормально. Тем более он твой напарник, блин, а я не твоя девушка, поэтому все окей, по-моему. По-моему, у каждого мужика холостого вот такой вот примерно в квартире творится. Ладно, ну видимо можно... Так, давайте блокнот для начала посмотрим, почитаем кодекс. У нас он обновился. Так, Великая мясная война была самым большим и самым кровавым конфликтом, известным в истории дикой природы, длилась с 822 по 849. В начале она затронула только Альтеру, двуглавый континент, но в последующие годы распространилась на 12 провинциальных колоний, включая все 4 колонии Кловеля. Во время мясной войны погибло 80-90 миллионов животных, а после войны 27 видов были объявлены вымершими. Ебать. Серьезный замес был. Так, тут у нас еще что-то, да? Что-то осталось?
А
что еще у нас осталось? Что-то еще осталось?
You're the best, Booba. It's a piece of Molly. Ironic. I haven't done.
Так, не понял, в чем суть? В чем суть? Что еще мы не сделали? Просто поспрашивали.
You're telling me.
Huh. A stack of... I've had an... Or maybe...
Чуть не пойму, а что делать-то надо?
A closet that's...
I'd still like to take a peek and...
I wouldn't do that.
Oh, it gets more and...
Хуй знает. Не понимаю.
A closet...
Кому-то позвонить еще надо, нет? Ну-ка, если еще раз туда позвонить. 5, 5, 5, 9, 6, 6. Еще посмотрим, попробуем узнать. Нет, не хочет смотреть. Так, интересно все это. А что делать-то, ебать? Что-то вообще про растерянность. Кто-нибудь знает, нет? У меня вот идей вообще никаких. Вроде совсем повзаимодействовали, нет? Так, может этому надо позвонить снова? Ебать, кролику, нет? Где у нас кролик? Так. 555-932. 5, 5, 5, 9, 3, 2. Сейчас попробуем, по крайней мере. Я не знаю просто, что делать еще.
Hey, Lewis, it's me again.
Oh, hello, Sonny. What's up?
Were you sleeping, pal?
Me? Oh, I wasn't. Anyway, I'm always at your service.
Would you open up a room for Marty?
А, ясно.
Naturally, Sonny.
Thanks, Lewis. I'm not even gonna say it.
I will. You owe me one. Again.
Yeah.
Так, отлично.
Sorry for the mess.
Так, психическая лечебница. Вот, теперь у нас открылась новая локация, и мы туда и отправляемся, собственно говоря. У нас часть 4 тем временем. Отлично.
I slept like I used to sleep years ago. Like a miner or a soldier. Empty. Dead tired. Then I saw Tessa. My darling little daughter. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't recall her face. I reached out to her, but she just kept getting further and further away. Then I saw Molly. But she wasn't real. Just the ghost of a memory. I'm here, I cried. But all I heard was laughter. Not hers. Who's there? Suddenly, she appeared. Natasha. Just stood there laughing. But her eyes were cold. Then she said something. Painted
Ебать, у него глюки
red,
жесткие
painted
какие-то.
red, painted red. That was just a dream, Sonny. Nothing more. I looked at Marty and I saw the same thing in his eyes as he probably saw in mine. It's time to hit the brakes, to turn back, go home and forget about all of this. Of course, I stepped on the gas instead. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything good, but this...
Ясно, ясно. Смотрите-ка, локация интересная достаточно. У нас тут психи и психиатрическая лечебница.
Oh, just like a horror movie.
Реально как в ужастике.
I was thinking the same.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Let's hope so.
Так, ну давайте, наверное, осмотримся для начала. Какая-то роспись.
This picture...
It's very...
special?
Действительно, смотрите-ка. Ну, прям под стать психиатрической лечебницы, мне кажется. Такая очень, хуй знает, все реалистично и позитивно, по-моему. Не знаю, как это еще назвать.
Even if you manage to escape, there's nothing but hills and forests for 100 miles.
Imagine how many poor lunatic ghosts must haunt those woods.
Ooh, Sonny, you're creeping me out.
Insane ghosts in the woods, Marty.
Sonny, it's not funny.
Insane ghosts.
Sonny.
Так, у нас тут пациент какой-то. Медсестра.
This guy seems strangely familiar to me.
You don't say. You've been treated here too. That would explain a lot.
Oh, don't be stupid. I'm serious. Take a closer look.
No.
Well?
No, it can't be. Are you telling me it's him? M.B. Davis himself?
Так, что за М.Би. Дэвис? Я даже не знаю такого. Какой-то новый персонаж.
I'm sure of it, pal. It seems the gossip was true. The eternal king of jazz in a madhouse.
А, это М.Би. Дэвис тот самый, нихуя. Серьезно?
Poor devil.
It doesn't matter how big a star you once were. Ending up lonely and crazy in a rotting insane asylum in the middle of nowhere is like the universe restoring its balance.
That was very poetic of you, Marty. Almost deep. Careful you don't drown.
Fuck you. Huh. It doesn't matter how big a star you once were.
That was very...
Fuck you.
Так, что у нас еще тут? Медсестра, но туда идти пока не хочу. Сначала в приемную, да? Ладно, давайте тогда к медсестре, значит.
Like an angel from heaven, isn't she?
Yeah, half of her's still up there, I think.
That's rude.
Oh, boo-hoo. What do you think? Can she hear us up there?
Sonny, stop being so high.
Ну жираф. Я думаю, блядь, что за гусь, что ли, какой-то.
Yeah, okay. Cry me a river.
I'm forever amazed by what an asshole you are.
What do you think?
Так, ладно, вот теперь можно поговорить, давайте этим и займемся. Головы даже не видно.
Greetings, miss.
Is it really you?
Well, yes.
Yes, it really is you.
Еще одна фанатка пернатых копов. Нужно этому радоваться, наверное, нет? Значит, все будет легче, чем обычно.
Miss, we'd like to ask...
Please, don't be scared. I'm just really excited. You know, I've read every book about you and your adventures. And I even
Жестко фанатка.
when I was a little girl.
Indeed.
You can't imagine what an honor it is to meet you in person.
We really...
Oh God. Take a deep breath, Miranda. Take a deep breath.
Are you okay, miss?
Ебать, она тоже какая-то психованная, походу.
Yes, I am. I just needed some air. So, dear detectives, Santino and Martin, what can I do for you?
Well, miss, we have some questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to answer all of your questions, detectives.
Так, у нас новая личность, смотрите, давайте посмотрим в блокноте. И у нас одна нераскрытая личность только осталась, представляете себе. Так, медсестра Миранда, жираф, полженский, жизнь, надежда и много чего еще просто хлещет из нее, как из рога изобилия. И она наш ярый фанат, к сожалению. Да нет, мне кажется, к счастью. Излишне приветливая медсестра за стоки в больнице. Ее зовут Миранда, и она огромный фанат пернатых копов, прямо до неприличия. Ебануться.
Sorry, but I still can't believe it's really you.
Neither can we.
You can't imagine how wonderful it is that I can help you in one of your cases. Does this mean it will become a new book? And maybe I will be in it?
Miss, those books aren't really...
Don't even tell me. No, I don't want to know. Let it be a surprise instead.
No, I didn't mean...
Leave it to me, Sonny. I'm good at this. Thank you, miss. Your words are very flattering, and we are honored.
No, I thank you. I'll never forget this day.
We won't either, that's for sure.
We're happy to bring you joy, miss. Anytime.
Please, I'm at your service.
Thank you, miss.
Так, отлично, вот теперь можно ее поспрашивать о всяком... блять, вопрос один только, отлично.
Hey, miss, what can you tell us about this place?
Our institution was standing even before the Great Meat War, and during the war, it was transformed into a military hospital. Since then, we're relentlessly working on treating injured minds under the leadership of Dr. Quetzal, the famous specialist.
The place seems pretty empty. Do many people work here?
We have 32 residents and 7 nurses, including me. We also have a 3-person maintenance and cleaning staff, and, of course, the heart and soul of our institution, Dr. Quetzal himself.
I see. Now this Dr. Quetzal, is he the director here?
Exactly. Director, scientist, researcher, patron, and doctor. And even a friend.
Да неужели? Надо бы на него взглянуть, и я думаю, допросить бы его неплохо.
Quite a guy.
А, вот у нас как раз последний товарищ вылез.
He
Он
certainly
ящер,
is.
насколько я понял, да? Или змей? Так,
So who is this
о нем,
Dr.
собственно говоря, и
Quetzal
поспрашиваем.
exactly?
He's a world-famous researcher of the mind, Mr. Featherland. He published countless books in the fields of psychology and psychotherapy.
Psycho... what?
Unraveling the mind. It's the most crucial mission of the century, Mr. McChicken.
That's really good to know.
So this doctor's some celebrity, right? Does he usually meet other important persons?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, like Mr. Hobart Wessler, for example.
Ah, yes. That's something you should ask the doctor himself, but unfortunately, I don't think he has time right now.
He's swamped, is he?
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. He is very, very, very busy. All the time.
I thought so.
Так, странный
Now, what can you
браслет.
say about this, miss? Have you seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear them inside the institution.
Huh. I see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents. But I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to
А
regulations.
за автограф пернатых копов почему нет?
Come on, Miranda.
Миранда, зачем? Не
It's
надо,
us, the
конечно.
Chicken Police.
I'm sorry, I
Блять, ты
can't.
подводишь команду.
Miranda, this case is a matter of life and death. Lives are in your hands.
All right. All right. I'll do it.
Блять,
Albert
в натуре
Wessler.
его братан это
The
был,
patient's
прикинь.
name is Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
Figures. Just as we thought.
Пиздец жестко.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never forget this.
Интересно, он сам убил своего брата? Навряд ли, мне кажется.
Please.
Нужда
Don't
какая-то,
make me
нет?
blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Oh, we won't. I promise.
Так,
So when can we talk to Mr. Wessler?
I need to ask Dr. Quetzal. Please wait here.
а он
Thank you.
здесь, Альберт? Я думал, блять, ну браслет был как бы в мешке с трупом, а труп... Ладно, странно. Странно, блять, странно все это. Вам так не кажется?
We need to let them.
Dr. Quetzal will see you. He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall, until the last door.
Отлично.
What a surprise. It's enough to mention Wessler's name and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
Danger? What do you mean?
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared, and we're really, really worried.
I see. We don't know yet, miss, but let's hope for the best.
Great wild ones protect him.
Where is he?
О, блять, да вон он сзади, нет?
No idea, Marty.
The smell of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
Well, reptiles have a disgusting
Блять, жестко.
but they feel
Жестко
exactly
не
the same
попали.
about us.
Exactly.
Жесткий, блять.
Great wild ones, you scared the hell out of me.
Да, это реально какой-то этот уж или хуй знает.
I already sensed your arrival from afar. You know, snakes have a different sense of smell. And birds used to be our prey once upon a time.
Well, yeah. Luckily, we're living in civilized times.
Lucky. Please take a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
Так, ну давайте осмотримся для
Your
начала.
office is rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential in my office.
I see. That makes sense.
Так, стены, окно.
Why do you have bars on your windows?
Так это же психлечебница.
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient. Am I right?
It's not as big of a difference as you'd think.
Is this cell like the others?
I would rather call it a room. But yes, it's like all the others, except there are even bigger ones than this.
Так, что еще тут есть? Что еще тут есть? Какая-то хуйня, сейф или что-то?
An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane? Interesting questions. Am I normal, or are you? Maybe neither of us.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment.
Нет, этого, пожалуй, не надо нам.
This is your chance, Sonny. Don't miss it.
Че,
We're
серьезно?
already here.
Marty, clock up.
Не, Мальта прикалывается, окей. Так, ну давайте, наверное, с ним поговорим. Время пришло, мне кажется.
Snake. I can't help it, but they make my feathers stand on end.
Это еще, видимо, эти... Как сказать...
I have a
Ладно, давайте поговорим
Be
с ним.
honest, gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
What an introduction.
Please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Sessuous Quetzalcoatl, but most call me Dr. Quetzal to keep it simple.
The name is Santino Featherland, and this is my partner, Martin McChicken, from
the predatory division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is
Этот чувак,
one
видно,
step
тоже про нас
ahead of you.
читал. По крайней мере, знает. Хотя кто про нас не знает, мы же
We're used to it.
местные знаменитости, ебать.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
Please be specific, detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds any better.
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know it's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes. Why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Now, that's much more interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service, but you must understand, I can't disclose information about my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, detective, just do your job, and I'll do mine.
Так, его можно поспрашивать, но для начала давайте посмотрим в наш блокнот. У нас все люди наконец-таки открыты, и можно посмотреть данные. Доктор Сесос Квет Цалкуатль и зеленый питон. Холодно, отстранен профессионал, и у меня от него мурашки под перьями. Есть такое дело. Профессор, настоящий эрудит, ученый, писатель, философ и бог знает кто еще. Так, еще у нас про Альберта что-то новое появилось. Блять. Можно сказать, бинго, Альберт Уэстер исчез из больницы. Интересно. Интересно.
So, what do you want to know, gentlemen?
Let's see.
Так, ну ладно, давайте поспрашиваем.
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time. His first symptoms surfaced in his teens. Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
Because animals would rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector the
Так,
Third,
интересно.
of course.
Не значит под спонсорством короля Гектора?
I wouldn't have guessed.
Интересно.
My family and the royal dynasty
Бля, кто бы
had
сомневался.
always been on good terms, Mr.
Но он, видно, и не из
Santino.
простых ведь, да? Серьезный какой-то.
What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown of Cloville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
So if I
Ебать,
count
долго.
correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance. Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zavas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
Так, его можно допросить, ребятки. Давайте, наверное, допросим по-быстрому.
Quetzal's a real mystery, but I can turn that to my advantage. I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle.
Так.
So when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4 years ago.
Could you describe that day more specifically?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible grey ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
Didn't you think of that as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
Так, скажите, что-либо угрожал вам? Какое особое лечение получил
What kind
Альберт?
of special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert, we put that aside.
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
Так, отлично, пока все идет нормально. Как мне кажется, он был опасен для других, как относился к вам.
Do you think he was a threat to others?
He didn't seem like that at first. He was fragile, frail, overwrought. I would have labeled him as a threat to himself, but not to others.
And later, when you came to know him better?
Albert had certain seizures. We found that out quite soon in that surprisingly cold winter. During those times, his personality distorted. He became almost someone else entirely, almost unrecognizable.
Так, вы хотите сказать, что в Альберте было несколько личностей? Отлично, пока все прям прекрасно идет, странно аж.
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details.
Так, Альберт мог запросто уходить возле час, когда... И зачем Альберт первый раз покинул эту ущелье? Почему же вы позволяли Альберту покидать это место?
How could you let Albert leave this place?
Excuse me, detective, but I didn't really have a say in it, whether you believe it or not.
Ibn Wessler, right?
Exactly. Hobart Wessler left me no choice. Albert left this place on multiple
вот картина,
occasions
отлично.
to finish a painting he had started at the request of his brother.
Did he start painting a beautiful cat woman by any chance?
He did. Exactly, Mr. Featherland. I reckon you must know about the existence of the painting.
I do, Dr. Quetzal, although I've never seen it.
Neither have I, Mr. Featherland.
Сообщение по поводу картины. Альберт рассказывал вам о своем общении с братом.
Has Albert ever talked to you about Natasha?
Only in superlatives, as if he wasn't talking about a real person, but an ethereal being, about an angel or a demon, something that is not of this world.
And what did you think about his fantasies?
We are in an institution where almost everyone is hallucinating on a daily basis, Mr. Featherland. It didn't really bother me. But the fluctuations of positive and negative were more disturbing.
Thanks, Doc. I didn't understand a word, but I think I get the point. So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
More dangerous?
Albert was hurting himself. And on one occasion, he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece by piece.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr. Featherland.
But its subject.
Exactly. He was obsessed, right until that fateful day when he returned to us for the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally.
Блять, интересно, как это все развивается, пока не могу уловить смысл. Что же все-таки с ним случилось? Что-то узнал такое, о чем не хотел знать, возможно, связано с его братом.
Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning
Ух,
back
пиздец.
now. So, Albert's tongue was torn out, or cut off, I don't know exactly, and he was blinded in one eye, or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes. And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional, but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert.
Так, вы не поверили, что с Альбертом произошел несчастный случай. Эти двое ребят, которые привезли Альберта назад, вы не могли бы их описать? Наверное, вам нелегко говорить об этом, но вы тщательно смотрите.
You didn't
Так.
believe Albert had an accident, is that right?
Of course not. I'm not naive. I knew immediately that Albert had been severely battered, and I was sure it had been his brother.
Well, we don't know that, Dr. Quetzal.
Would you defend a monster?
Take it easy, Doc. One of the most critical elements of my job is not to make assumptions.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Featherland. I'm sorry I got carried away.
It's all right. Happens to everyone.
Так, соберитесь, доктор. В каком состоянии была Либерт после всего этого? Констатирует доктор. Почему? Так, вот, давайте.
Doctor, what do you think happened to Albert?
I'm sure it was Hobart. He ordered his men to mutilate poor Albert.
But why would he do that?
Maybe Albert saw something he could accidentally reveal.
To whom? The four walls? A couple of crazies? You?
To anyone, Mr. Featherland.
I don't think it's that simple, Doctor. But thank you for your honest opinion.
You're welcome, Detective.
What happened then? How did
Бля,
Albert
этот допрос идет
disappear?
просто великолепно как-то, в отличие от остальных
A few weeks
стран
later,
аж.
Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe one.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative state by then.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid.
Пиздец.
Most likely his
Блять, ну если это
fingers
британцы
had
с ним сделано, ну это
broken
пиздец
too,
просто
so
какой-то.
he
Это
couldn't
прям вообще
fight.
не
Do
по-человечески.
you think Hobart could have
Не по-человечески, сказал я про зверей. Отлично.
Horrible to say it. But
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
that's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply
Так, его кто-то похитил и убил просто.
his
Братан,
door,
нет.
which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could be of help. But please, I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you.
Так, отлично, допрос проведен. Смотрите-ка, заодно здесь. Ну, не прям гениально, но пойдет. Пойдет, в принципе. В принципе, пойдет. Поэтому, ребят, давайте продолжим уже, наверное, в следующей серии. А здесь мы закончим. Так что, ребята, все обязательно подписывайтесь на канал, ставьте лайки, пишите комментарии. Вы были на канале Boomerang Games. Для вас играл Роман PacMan. Всем пока-пока.